Creative Optimism by Ernest Holmes. When we speak of creative optimism, we are not talking about a cheap optimism that says everything is all right when it is not. We do not say peace when there is no peace. We say peace ought always to be, and when it is not, there is nothing wrong with peace itself. There is something wrong with us. There is a creative law in the universe which makes everything. That is quite evident. This creative law is the mind of God. That is evident too. The mind of God, through the imagination of God, sets the law of God in motion, or moves through the law. Probably the law does not move, but imagination moves upon it. Roughly, we speak of setting the law in motion. So the law of the universe is subject to the imagination that uses it. The starting point of life must be consciousness. If that were not true, no one would know there was any life. So all the great teachers have told us that in the beginning God, in the beginning, the creative spirit. In the beginning means right this moment, the beginning of any creation. When we awoke this morning, that was the beginning of a new day. There was nothing but God. Now God moves. Where does God move? God is everywhere. Therefore, the movement of God is within and upon itself, involution. Just as the seed moves within the soil, God moves upon itself. God speaks the word, then the law of God works upon that word. If you ask yourself, how did anything come into being? How did we get here? What is it all about? The only answer you could think of would be by some invisible force acting as law, making things. It has will, choice, and imagination fused into one, and everything that takes place in accord with the law. Then we may say, well, I am some part of this whole thing. I am some part of God. God in me is still God and still operates through me the same way it does outside of me. In other words, the nature of God and law of God and the mind and spirit of God are incarnated in me, in everyone. There is nothing else we can be